to another episode of Shovix Sports. I'm Corey.
And I am Austin.
We have a lot to discuss. There was a couple posts that we had put on Instagram. We weren't going to discuss it until later, like next week, but we do have a very special guest coming on next week, aka Monday. So we figured we would go ahead and do a special episode tonight. So first, I want to congratulate Browns fans. Like, congratulations to you guys. Picked up Joe Flacco, 1 year deal.
That's my dog. I've been a Flacco guy forever.
Yeah, I mean, I think that kind of takes my prediction for Kirk Cousins kind of off the table a little bit.
You
Uh,
think he starts?
Joe Flacco,
Yeah.
I do. I
Didn't
mean, I
they
think
get Kenneth Pickett though? Do you think it'll be a battle or
I don't know if I'd say it would be a battle, but I think the success that they had with Joe Flacco as the quarterback, I think you kind of assume that he should have no issues really winning this job. Uh, but yeah, it's 1 year, 3 mil. I think it was up to like 13 or something like that with incentives. So I mean, he's probably going to get paid because he's going to get the playing time to go along with it. So kind of a rundown of what we're going to talk about. We put a post yesterday. It was the top 10, kind of our power rankings. And shout out to the cheese and beer guys, cheese and bears guys. Um, they kind of did one on their show, and it kind of gave me the idea of now's a good time to do a power ranking type thing. I mean, it's been deep into the post or deep into the off season, so you can kind of get one started now. And then once we get to like the divisional roundtables that we're setting up, then we kind of, we'll kind of lay out maybe a more, I don't know, more thought out like 1 to 32 power ranking type thing. Once we get a mix and talk to a lot of other guys from other divisions and teams. So we'll do that. I did post another thing about which QB is overrated. I got some good. Well, we'll get into it. The answers aren't actually as surprising, just based on who was on that list. And then we'll do a little mock draft, kind of what we did a few weeks back. I know there's a couple of people that commented on YouTube on the reel talking about, you know, Luther Burden was my original pick and how it was going against the grain of what other draft shows kind
that,
of said.
that's kind of the point though,
But what,
right?
yeah,
Like
I
think
mean,
for
we
yourself.
we kind of said going into it that it's our mock draft. I'm not too concerned about what others are doing. I am changing it off of Luther Burden today. I will go ahead and break the news there. But
No suspense.
yeah, am I going to go with a running back? Am I going to go with, I don't know. So we'll do that. So we'll do the first 5 picks and then 20th and 31st. And then again, it's just going to be a laid back evening. We'll get out of here in about an hour or so. Is there anything you want to talk about or cover before we get going?
No, I think laying it all out there and just digging in and we got a lot of feedback and comments and whatnot on some of these posts. So try to save as much time as we can to make sure we get all the shout outs necessary.
I think the Cheeseheads and the Bear podcast. Sorry, guys, I fucked your name up earlier. That is my fault. We've shared a lot of your shit, so that's my bad.
What a rookie.
That is my fault. So again, those guys are great. Go give them a follow on Instagram. We'll hopefully get them on soon. I know the Honolulu Cheese. My brother loves your guys' name because he
Love it.
he was wondering who are those guys? Are they actually in Honolulu? I
Well,
don't.
I think my first question was like, is there like specific Honolulu cheese? Because no, I'm a slut for cheese. So if that's a cheese out there I've never had,
Yeah.
I'd be curious. So I got some questions for him. So that'll be a good one.
So we're getting our our draft, or well, it's the round table of the AFC West. So we'll have Cody from Drew Code Sports. Timmy had us on his show. It was great. It was fun. Uh, that was a lot of fun being on with him, being a guest on someone else's show. Had made us kind of have an appreciation of being a guest on another person's show and all the stuff that doesn't have to come with that. So Timmy, again, thank you. And then we'll have Matt on as well with the AFC West. And then the Honolulu Cheese guys, so far, are the only ones for the NFC North. But again, we have plenty of people that we know. I know Micah, he's coming on soon. Maybe we'll sweet talk him into maybe coming on for the NFC North show as well. Give a shout out to the Ohio Sports Talk guys. Had a chance to watch some of their stuff. Those guys are doing big things. They've also been a huge help to us. So Ohio Sports Talk, go give them a follow on Instagram as well. Again, they've helped us. They've been looking over some of our reels and kind of giving us some insight and maybe some pointers. It's all fun. Obviously, we're all wanting the same thing and seeing each other's pages grow. So go give them some love and follow them on Instagram. Also, go find them on YouTube. They do a live show, I believe, every Tuesday and Thursday. I think they're in the heart of baseball season right now with the Ohio teams, and they actually posted something pretty cool about if they did like an Ohio college bracket, like which I mean, it was fun. So go check that stuff out. So without further ado, on the original post that I had, uh, the historical football stats said no disrespect to anyone specific, but this draft QB class is looking pretty weak.
Yeah,
So
we'll touch on that probably plenty of times between not even just between now and the draft, probably years to follow. Uh, we always talk about classes down the road, and you can look back and be like, well, wasn't as good or bad as we thought. I have a very confident feeling that 5 years down the road, we're going to be like, yeah, this class was as trash as we thought. But yeah, we'll dive into that, I'm sure, quite often over the next few weeks and beyond.
and then Arlen, you made it very clear. Apparently, you want Cam Ward. Weird.
Hey, you know, it's been a while for me, but I guess your point of view, right? Like when you're desperate for a quarterback, you kind of become blind a little bit. Like you're in a position to get a quarterback, so you don't care, just take one. I imagine that's where you're at, right? Like I remember my
Yeah,
Damon Heward and Brody Croyle and Big Pen days. Like at that point, dude, draft another Todd Blackledge. I don't care. Like we clearly need one.
but I'm still in the camp of Will Levis could still be a good, serviceable guy one more year. Get your defense, get someone else, and then worry about the quarterback class next year. I don't think there's going to be any better, but I think it's still going to be a step up compared to what this year's class is. So, again, posted a question yesterday. We'll go for this one first. Said, who's more overrated? Okay, this is the quarterbacks. With as much comments that we got on that, I might do a running back one next week.
Yeah, drop it position by position.
We might. So on the quarterback list, I listed Tua, Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, Jordan Love.
I,
Do you want to give kind of your take before we start going through answers here on?
yeah, we'll give our little view before we start giving some shout outs and comments that were made. But it's hard for me to think Fields just because I don't think he's ever been given a shot. So I don't know if like all the hate he gets. I don't feel like he's really earned because he's never been given a fair shot. Uh, I think we've mentioned before we're kind of pro Justin Fields. Like we like the guy. We want him to get somewhere that'll give him an opportunity. Um, so I don't know if I could go with him. Um, for me, it really came down to Tua and Kyler Murray. Um, and truth be told, it was a no-brainer for me. It was Tua. I've honestly, even if you didn't give me four quarterbacks to choose from, and you told me to just pick one quarterback in the NFL, I would probably have landed on Tua. No disrespect to him, he's landed in a good system, good playmaker, so like they elevate him a little bit. But uh, for how much people talk him up and Tyreek saying he's the most accurate quarterback in football and doing all that probably doesn't help. But uh, for me, it's easy. I've just coming out of the draft and even just during his professional career, I got to go with Tua, especially with his payday. Now he's paid like he's one of the elites, and it's just I've never felt that way about him. So for me, it was no brainer. Tua, Kyler probably a distant second, and then Jordan Love, just because I don't think Justin Fields kind of deserves to be mentioned as an overrated or overhyped or anything.
So I originally was going to say Kyler, but then I started thinking more about it, and I think that comes with him being the number one overall pick, right? And it comes along with being the number one overall pick, having a couple really good seasons, and then just kind of faltering a little bit due to I think his injury. Then I don't think he came back fully healthy. The following that injury, but again, and it is really hard for Justin Fields just based on the Bears are a shitty organization up until maybe this point, and then obviously the Steelers and Mike Tomlin for some reason benching him for Russell Wilson, which we won't get into all that. That's not the question. Uh, so I also am going to lean Tua, and I actually think Jordan Love's going to be close.
Well,
Uh,
see that what makes me think Jordan Love is kind of I don't know, not overrated is he hasn't really had weapons, but he does still ball out. Like Christian Watson has never really fully been healthy. Jaden Reed and him have kind of, got a nice connection, and Kraft and at tight end and their tight ends have been okay, but I think he's done more with less than some of these other guys, right? Like Kyler Murray, he's gone through a pretty good amount of weapons, always had pretty good run game, still just not there. But Jordan Love, I feel like has just done what he's done with less. So I'm not saying he's not overrated, but I do think he's a distant third.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, if you could really dig into it, it probably is Kyler. It truly is, just based on what have you done for me, right? Like playoff failures. They had really hot starts with when him and Kingsbury were there, but I'm still going to lean Tua just based on who everyone wants to pick Mike McDaniel, Mike McDaniel. Well, maybe, but I also think if you put a different quarterback there, like Zach Wilson's there this year or as the backup now. Honestly, I wouldn't sleep on Zach Wilson being able to maybe push for a starting job there at some point. And then especially when if Tua were to get hurt like he has in the past, I think that's a offense that Zach Wilson could maybe take over and thrive in.
Yeah, it's definitely a quarterback friendly system, and I'll kind of allude to what points we made when we asked if Brock Purdy should get paid. Not really. Like it's a quarterback friendly system, so you can plug quite a bit of people. Now, we're not saying you can plug anyone off the street in and have success, right? But you can take an average or above average quarterback, and they're going to look good slash great in some of these offenses. Sean McVay, you know, Cliff Kingsbury now, but I think Jaden Daniels is elite anyway. But some of these coaches can elevate quarterback play. Kevin O'Connell, I mean, look at what Sam Darnold out of nowhere did, right? Now he also had weapons, but hey, so does Tua. So I think it's a quarterback friendly system. I think a lot of quarterbacks wish they kind of had that kind of weaponry around him. But um, yeah, I just given his contract, given the amount of missed throws, and honestly, all the injuries, you can't knock a dude for getting concussed all the time. But at the same point, your best ability is availability, and that comes into play a little bit too. So I think there's just too many little things like I don't want to say wrong, but Tua doesn't bring to the table that maybe some of these other ones do that I think makes him the most overrated on this list.
Yeah, so let's go through some of the comments. First one, chopping lines. Shout out to those guys. A lot of back and forth with them. They have really good posts as well. So really loaded question. Yeah, probably, but probably Kyler in their opinion. A lot of love for never really doing anything. Then Tua love and feels has fallen a little far out of the favor to compare the others in terms of truly being overrated. Yeah, I think I agree for the most part with that list because again, like I said earlier, Kyler could be when it's said and done, he could be there. But again, Tua for what he was supposed to do with this offense, has he picked up under McDaniel? Yes, but at the same time, I mean, you know what they've done as a team and what weapons he has, they've kind of left a lot out there on the field. So really, still a good comment. And again, we're not going to disagree with Kyler possibly being that guy. The Brats and Beers guys take Love off the list and it'd be a three-way tie at the top.
It's kind of yeah.
Yeah, I mean, true. And again, is it too early for Jordan Love? Has he had enough time in Green Bay? I mean, he's got a contract extension, so I'm going to say yes. He has had time. He's almost gotten over the hump. It's still kind of there, but I think now with that division being so loaded, now you got to look: is Caleb Williams going to be the best quarterback in that division? I don't know. We don't know what Ben Johnson's going to do yet. What about JJ McCarthy? We don't know. I know you were kind of high on JJ McCarthy and what he may be able to do with Kevin O'Connell, who's apparently the quarterback whisperer, and then Jared Goff. Could Jared Goff be the worst quarterback in the NFC North?
I'm curious to see what they look like without Ben Johnson. If I had to take a pick right now, I would have. Uh, I don't know. It's hard because it's the two people we just don't like McCarthy. I still think McCarthy would be number four in that division, but after that, I do think Caleb Williams is one. Your two, three could go either way, but Yeah, I just Jordan Love's done a lot with a little. So to me, that means he has some talent or there's something there to work with. Because I think he's done the most with the least amount. So I, there's there's a good point. We agree with take Fields off the list, right? Like kind of an unfair person, but you would have a really solid argument for the other three. Absolutely.
Another one, support sport content too. Thank you for commenting. Jordan Love, people be hating on the other three. I mean, yeah, but again, it's kind of mind blown a little bit how many people are actually thinking is Jordan Love. Uh, he's probably been the most successful one, but I guess really have any of them been successful because none of them have really done much. But um, yeah, so and then Matt, OC News 365, friend of the show, he goes with Tua, just too inconsistent and not really sold on him. Fields and Murray are just on bad teams. Fields did better in Pitt, still got benched, weirdly enough. And then Murray just has no competent coaching staff and not many weapons around him. I think Jordan Love is fine. He's doing well in Green Bay. Well said. Yeah, Kyler Murray. I mean, you have Marvin Harrison, you have Trey McBride, you have James Conner.
He had some like D Hop throughout the year, Hollywood Brown. So like he's always had some decent weapons, and I don't know if it. We kind of blamed coaching staff previously with like the fall off the map that they would have, but now that it's been multiple coaching staffs, like should we be looking at Kyler for the inconsistencies of starts, bad finishes, good like just not a full good consistent year from them.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, you brought in Jonathan Gannon, and there was a time where we loved the Gannon hire. We got his guys to play hard. They were competing, but now it's kind of like your division's been winnable. I mean, outside the 49ers, now the Rams are kind of, back and forth. Uh, but you haven't capitalized on it with that talent, right? They haven't had bad teams. The defense was just as good. Defense was fine. And then Timmy, answer the call. He says Tua got a lot of buzz coming out of college because he was one of those championship Bama teams with some really good receivers. Bingo. Kyler Murray could easily be because he was number one overall pick. Bingo. Justin Fields got drafted by the Bears, who have a history of not being able to draft quarterbacks. And then the final answer, Tua. If you put Tua on any other offense, he doesn't feel he would be as good. I mean, we saw what he was before. Right? I think it was Brian Flores. Brian Flores didn't want him. Right? Remember all that stuff came out about Brian Flores. I didn't want him. I don't want him.
Trying to bring in like Tom Brady every time. Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean coaching matters for sure, but I don't know. I'm agreeing with all the Tua love obviously, but some other points are being made for like Kyler and Love. So um I think there's a few teams that Tua could go to where he'd still be have a little bit of success. Um it would have to be another kind of quarterback. Yeah, I mean, we got we got our three guys, six balls NFL podcast. Really enters Dak Prescott. Look, I was gonna comment that before the end of this. I was gonna stick to the answers we said. Uh
He had plenty of time to tell me yesterday after he saw the list, right? He could be like, hey, throw Dak on there.
no, because Dak's and there's no stats to back it up. This is more of a feeling thing. He gets even so much of his stats that make him quote unquote look good is just like garbage time. Like you've won nothing, you've done nothing. I don't know. I Like if Dak was on the list, that would have been my runaway pick. So you may have said it as a joke, but I'm on board with you. If you're kind of leading that train, I'm on board.
JJ podcast. Those guys said Tua. Bronco worshiper. Tua by far. And then JJ McCarthy top. Love. Of course, love. Um, yeah, I think the consensus is Tua. And that's actually not a surprise. So, like, even when we were going through and reading these comments yesterday, kind of on the go, and even with us talking, we kind of knew it was going to be Tua. And I think it's unfair for Mike McDaniel because I think he really is a bright mind, but they're not really setting themselves up very well with what they've had backing. Like, you can't have Skylar Thompson backing up Tua, right?
They had Pro Bowl Tyler Huntley.
And then stop it.
He was a Pro
So,
Bowler.
so that's why I'm still, and I'm going to go into the season saying watch for Zach Wilson in this offense because I still think Zach Wilson could, make some noise. And Tua's going to be the starter, right?
Yes.
But there's always that possibility that he gets hurt, and unfortunately, we don't want to see it. That's just always in the back of our minds when Tua gets hit. If Zach Wilson takes over as the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins this season, he's not going to lose that job back.
Look, man. Anybody who likes to slay Cougars has my vote. So I've
Zach
been,
Wilson, the Cougar Slayer.
yeah, from the beginning he's been my guy. Like even on Denver, I was kind of hoping Bo Nix would suck and Zach Wilson would kind of be a thing. So
I'm not going to say no. I was super excited about Sean Payton with Zach Wilson. I'm perfectly fine that Bo Nix panned out because I'm over trying to find a quarterback. But it's always going to now there's going to be that what if. I don't think Zach Wilson's better than Bo Nix, but
he's probably not better than Tua. Like let's be honest.
well, I think Tyreek Hill and Waddle would prefer Zach Wilson's arm strength compared to Tua's is way better. So I think Zach Wilson and
He
Tua,
fits the
and
offense, right?
yeah,
Like what you're saying. He fits it better.
so thanks to everybody who commented on that post. Let's go to the next one, power rankings.
Mhm.
So again, uh this was all in fun, just because again, like I said, I heard those guys talking about their power rankings on their podcast, and it kind of got me thinking. So we'll put it side by side. So this is like a 1.0.
So I do want to point out that this was no way, shape, or form. My brother randomly texted me and said, "Give me your top 10 NFL teams," and my dumbass was like, "What do you mean, like top 10 offenses, top 10 off seasons? Like, what? Tell me what you want." So the fact that our list kind of at the top is kind of the same, completely random, because he just texted me and was like, "Give me your list," and so I gave it to him, and then he sent me his, and I'm like, "Oh shit, we kind of agree a little bit." So this was completely random on our list. There was no like dialogue or communication. It was completely random.
So Austin's list was, and I'll go number 1 to 10: Chiefs, Eagles, Ravens, Bills, Lions, Commanders, Packers, Broncos, Chargers, Bengals. Again, that was 1 to 10. And then my list, 1 to 10: Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Lions, Commanders, Packers, Broncos, Rams, Vikings. Again, that was 1 through 10. All right. We both had a discussion yesterday prior to coming in on about after seeing kind of how the similarities. I wanted the Chiefs lower. I think you wanted the Chiefs lower, but you weren't going to put the Eagles first because that's just you.
Yeah.
But we can't really justify putting the Ravens and Bills over the Chiefs. I have the Bills and Ravens 3-4. You have the Ravens 3-4, but we flipped. So Ravens are 3 for you.
Yeah, our
Bills are
1-2 is flipped and then our 3-4 is flipped. So we kind of had the same top four, just reverse order. I'm with you. Like Chiefs don't feel like they should be one or two, but there's really been no reason to put any AFC team over them at the moment. Uh, and then yeah, I think Eagles are clearly the best NFC team, and I'm just not going to put them one. Probably a terrible reason to
we'll
pick your
do a
top 10,
we'll do
but
a real one as we get closer to the season. Like we'll call this 1.0, and then we'll do a 2.0 as the season gets ready to start, and then you can fill it out like you normally would.
well, yeah, I'm still never gonna put the Eagles over the. I just it's just who I am. I don't like the Eagles, even before they shit stomped us. All right, like it's just I don't like the Eagles. They're a damn good team though, but uh, it was weird that our top four were the same, just kind of different orders. Our 5, 6, 7, 8 were the exact same, which is kind of surprising because we usually kind of had different feelings on teams. So 5, 6, 7, 8, we had Lions, Commanders, Packers, Broncos. Uh, Pretty good group of teams. I honestly think though from Denver to like so from our 8 spot down to like 14 is a real just crapshoot. Like you could pick any of the teams in any order and kind of be justified.
If Denver lands a running back, if they would have landed a running back in free agency, I probably would have put him up a little more. If they were to get a running back in the draft, I love their defense enough, and they improved. Dre Greenlaw hopefully stays healthy, and Ufunga hopefully he stays healthy. Defensive Player of the Year, Patrick Hand. Hopefully a bounce back season for Riley Moss. I love what this defense can do. Now the question is, can you get help and a running game for your quarterback and not be the shittiest team in the NFL trying to run the football? Love Audric Estime. Love Jaleel McLaughlin. Not starting your running backs in the NFL, so you got to get the running back taken care of at some point in the draft. So that's kind of why I like them at 8. I understand the question marks with Vikings at 10 as far as having JJ McCarthy and what he could do. I'm going to keep him there. I still think, again, Kevin O'Connell's going to work his magic. They're going to run the same style of offense that JJ McCarthy's used to. He's going to have Justin Jefferson. He's going to have Addison. He's going to have Hawkinson, Aaron Jones. There's no reason that he may actually be almost set up better than Caleb Williams was as he went to the Bears, right? Justin Jefferson's obviously the best receiver in the game. Addison's a solid 1B. And then obviously Hawkinson is reliable. So I like them in the top 10.
Yeah, I think what really prevented me from including the Vikings, it's hard for me to think a team with a rookie quarterback coming off an injury. Just hard for me to just put them top 10. Because for me, 10 came down to Bengals, Vikings, and Bucks. It's hard for me to pick the Vikings because of the rookie quarterback, which left me with the Bucks, Bengals. I think they're similarly built teams, but I'm gonna take we can't we can't predict injuries or anything, so I'm just gonna assume full season health. I'm gonna take that trio in Cincinnati. I almost had Cincinnati higher, but you do have to have a little bit of a defense, and they kind of do, which is why they're 10. But again, that 10 spot, you could Bengals, but I mean, you just have so many. I saw you have Rams on there, and I'm like, I didn't even think about the Rams. So that's just how that like 8 to 12 or 13 range is a real crapshoot. And I even want to say just 1 through 7 because you can throw Denver in that. You still don't know what to expect. CJ Stroud came out and had that wonderful rookie season. Year two was a lot of step back. You don't, well, I do. You don't want to see that happen with Denver. I wouldn't mind it, but you still don't know too much of what to expect. So really, I think 1 through 7 it's pretty universal. But after that, your next 3 to 5 teams, 3 to 7 teams, I bet nobody would just. Everyone could be justified for those next few spots.
Cody, Drew Code Sports Talk, buddy. I know you're joking, but come on, man. Raiders, top
Eh,
5. Honestly, though, you they may squeeze into the upper half this year.
no.
Geno Smith, they got to get Ashton Genty, though. If they can get Ashton Genty, I don't see why the AFC West is gonna be fucking fun. That's why I'm so excited for this AFC West roundtable to talk with these guys. But no, we're not putting them in easily in the top 5, even if you are JK and
Yeah.
Timmy. My brother put the Chargers in for you. I don't know why I forgot about them.
Well, sorry. They are an easy team to forget about. For me, the only reason I kind of think of them now is I think they finally got the right coach in there. Uh, and it showed, year one with him. Um, he came in, strengthened the trenches, which hurt us before. That's the most important part. He obviously has the quarterback. They'll keep getting weapons slowly around Herbert. Uh, like if I had to pick a team on this top 10 who I think can climb up there and kind of be in the Ravens, Bills, Lions grouping, I do think it's the Chargers. And I didn't do that just for him. I truly believe Chargers can be dangerous.
I wasn't dissing the Chargers, Timmy.
I was the one that had him in the top 10, all right? Like,
I when I saw my brother's list, I was I was kind of like shit. I'm the one who said the AFC West was gonna have probably three teams in
and we knew it wasn't going to be
again
the
because
Raiders.
obviously AFC West had 3 teams in last year, and I think the Chief or the Chargers and I think the Broncos are gonna be better this year. So again, it could easily be another 3 team race. Okay,
Let me are you surprised that neither of us had the Texans?
yeah, but again, it's
They're going to be probably a division winner.
well, they should be a division winner. And their defense is better. I just don't agree with trading Laramie Tunsil. Some of the moves that they made, I know they actually gave Jalen Petrie an extension today, 3 years, 30 some million. But no, I'm not too surprised. I think, like you said, uh, oh man, so
Wait, hold up. I'm calling them top 10, man. Like,
I just said that they were gonna have 3 teams in, so that therefore the Chargers.
You might have hopped in when I said the Chargers are easy to forget about.
Just be glad that you're not a Raiders fan.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they still have a ways to catch up, right? So as a Chargers fan, be glad that you got Harbaugh. Raider fans, chill the fuck out. I get it. You had Pete Carroll, but now's not the time.
And you also have the best set of tackles in football, so might not be sexy to a lot of people, but I'm telling you as a Chiefs fan, I would take the sexiest set of offensive tackles in the league right now.
And then Arlen commented on this one too. So after Cody and Tim were making good points about the AFC West, Arlen doesn't buy into the Packers as much as everyone else. They are a wild card team, right? Like we just talked
Maybe.
about the quarterback. Like, what's Jordan Love gonna do? What's are they gonna be able to replicate what they were able to do?
See, that's the hardest one for me, like, the longer I looked at that list after I sent it to you, I actually just wanted to remove the Packers.
So do we take the Packers off and put the Texans on there?
No, so for my list, I would probably include the Rams where the Packers are. Maybe move them down, but that would be who I would replace. If not the Rams, I'm gonna do it, man. I would throw the Bears.
I thought about it. I
I
truly did think about the
like
Bears.
the longer I'm looking at that, I'm like, A, why did I have the Packers? And B, why the hell did I have 'em 7th?
It's just you don't know with the Bears, right? I would take the
We don't know with
Packers
the
out of
Packers.
I would take the Packers out of the top 10 on mine. I would move everybody up one, and then I would put the Texans right there at 10. Just based on they are going to have a stacked defense still. And I do think CJ Stroud gets back to what he was his rookie year. I'd put the Bears at 11 or 12, like an honorable
My
mention.
shit's not lining up though. Remember I predicted the Bears for like 13 wins? You'd like to think that'd be top
Well, this is
10.
just going in. Like this could change.
Right. Yeah, but if I'm predicting them for 13 wins, I should think they're top 10, right? So,
And then Tim also not sold on the Packers, but he does like Austin putting AFC West bias aside and putting the Chargers on there. And then obviously, what's on your mind podcast? Shout out to these guys. This one was actually a really good one, and they said they'd argue for the Buccaneers. As much as I love this answer, it's the NFC South, kind of the same as what the Texans are, right? I will say Baker Mayfield's the dog, and he's growing on us. But
and
I'm not sure if I'm quite ready to put them at top. Like I would put them in the I would put them close, but I don't know if I would put them in to start the season.
and just to get the shout out in, Mike Evans is the most underrated, underappreciated receiver in football. Just want to make sure I get that shout out in. Um, I agree. I think I like the Bucks. I like what they have. Uh, they were one of my choices for that 10 spot, but you kind of made the point of it's hard for me to think of an NFC South team as top 10. Um, is there a chance they can be more competitive this year with the Falcons getting full year of Michael Penix in there and Bryce Young and the Panthers kind of look strong at the end. You don't know what to expect from the Saints, but there is a chance that one or two of these teams could actually become really good out of that division.
Yeah, and
S-
I'm picking the Panthers as a sleeper.
Oh shit.
I am. I pick not as a top 10.
Oh, okay.
Not as a top 10, but I am
Just
picking the Panthers as a sleeper to maybe make a little some noise in that division next year. So, and we'll get into that when we talk about the NFC South. Any of you guys want to come on for the NFC South show, just let us know. But again, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you guys right now. I'm going to still say that Panthers are my sleeper pick.
that's wild to me. I mean Bryce Young was another one I thought was kind of bad, but after that benching and kind of regrouping, kind of seemed like him and Canales finally found something, and they started using my boy Jatavion Sanders a little bit down the stretch. Uh, Tight end, quarterback's best friend, but uh, I don't know if I'm quite sold to put them as a sleeper yet. I haven't thought too much on sleeper teams at the moment.
Yeah, me either. The Panthers came into my
I
mind.
think right now the Bears would be considered one for me, right? Like,
I think they could.
I
Yeah.
guess I know there's a lot of hype on them, but still haven't done much for a while. But yeah, that's really what steered me away from the Bucks, though. Was just I don't know if I can put an NFC South team in the top 10.
Yeah. No, it's kind of the same with like could be the Cowboys year, right? Cowboy fans could be the Cowboys year. It's not, but again,
It's not could be. We're still at the point where this is our year.
but it,
That's where we're at still with them.
yeah, it's there's so many things that could be going with these power rankings, and then but again, there's certain divisions, you know,
I don't think anyone's coming on tonight.
No, no one's coming on tonight.
This was a
This
special
was
episode. We
we
had some topics to cover, and we have a special guest this week, so we wanted to cover them.
and we did have originally we had planned to have Kenny on tonight, but schedules actually got mixed up, so he wasn't able to come on tonight, which is okay. We were going to reschedule with Kenny for a baseball episode. So then we figured, well, we're already going to record, so why not, do a show tonight? So the three guys are coming on with us on 423. That's the night before the draft. We're super excited about that to kind of get their perspective on maybe who they think their teams are going to take, and maybe who could be a surprise number one pick. And then yeah, all good. So leading into that, now we can do kind of our Shovik 2.0 mock draft. Uh, I'm gonna go. How do you want to do this? Do you want to do like we did last time? Do you want to do 5 through 1, or do you just want to go ones and ones?
We can just yeah, we can each go make our first, second, third, alternate.
All right, so number one overall, and I'm gonna still be on record as saying Travis Hunter should be the number one overall pick. He's the best player in the draft. I know the Titans aren't gonna do this. I still don't think the Titans are actually gonna make this pick, but they're not. We're not gonna do any trades in this scenario. Cam Ward is number one overall pick. Titans take Cam Ward number one overall.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Cam Ward, if it were me, and this is going to be no surprise to anyone who's ever listened to me talk on here, I would like Abdul Carter to go number one. Uh, I don't know, man, just the thought of him on that defense, but I do think Cam Ward goes number one for the purposes of this. With you going Travis Hunter, just for our mock draft, I'll go Abdul Carter.
You're going dual Carter number one. Wild. I'm keeping notes on this so we can keep track of where we're at. All right, so that goes to the Browns number two. This is where I have Abdul Carter going. Uh, Again, I think this could be sneaky good with him and Miles Garrett. Him learning under Miles Garrett for these few couple years before Miles Garrett potentially moves on. I don't. I know that Browns fans are wanting a quarterback and they're wanting this and that.
This ain't the
This
class.
isn't the class. What's one more year of having a shitty quarterback, Cleveland? You've been
Well,
used
fuck,
to it.
Flacco led him to a playoff, so maybe
And again, congratulations on your massive signing today, Cleveland fans. Joe Flacco is going to take you guys to maybe the postseason. You don't know, but again, Abdul Carter, and for that reason, like you just get your defense to hold teams down. Let Joe Flacco come in and try to get over, the 22, 23 points for that, and then worry about quarterback next year and or Deshaun Watson already said he's coming back bigger, better, faster, and stronger. So you guys have that to look forward to with him coming back bigger, faster, stronger. Who are you going number two?
yeah, this is Travis Hunter for me. uh, I do think he'll be a two-way player, primarily corner. So I'm just thinking, Cleveland's got a few good corners already, so maybe he wouldn't have to play full time both ways, uh, just so he can. But I'm thinking of just like him and Denzel Ward, and then him situationally on offense, kind of helping open things up for Njoku and Judy. But uh, this is where I would put Travis Hunter.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really
That's
all you can do with
that's really
Deshaun.
I
This
was
is the best that I mean, that's the best like report you could just give with Deshaun. Just LOL.
yeah. Cleveland fans, man, and that. What do you guys got to be excited to hear about that, right?
LOL.
No, not a chance. But again, you got Joe Flacco, so all is saved. Dumbasses should have just kept Baker Mayfield. Number three, Giants. This is where I have Travis Hunter going. This is kind of I don't know if it's really a sneaky pick. I'm not really going against the grain here either. I know a lot of people are saying no, he may still fall back further. I actually think Brian Daboll would love the idea of having Travis Hunter in this position because again, I don't think they like the quarterbacks in this class either. They're going to hope Jameis Winston and or Russell Wilson and or both, and maybe even our boy Tommy Cutlets. Maybe he gets it, but again, take the best player available right here. That's Travis Hunter, and then worry about your quarterback next year.
Yeah, see, so I already have Hunter and Carter off the board. I'm gonna go maybe not a bit of a stretch, but uh, who I think is just the third best player from just like a grade standpoint. I think the Giants. I think they're gonna go Tyler Warren because I think you're right. they got veteran quarterbacks. They're not taking one this year. If these veteran quarterbacks don't pan out, they'll get next year and 2 years when the classes are better. I think you get finally get a tight end. They found some running back work to kind of make that room quote unquote stable. But just getting someone else who can help Malik Neighbors out. Wandell Robinson and Darius Slayton are fine. Again, you have an elite tight end setting there. Dayball got a couple of them in Buffalo to work with when you got Knox and then Kincaid. So I think Tyler Warren's the third best player. So that's who I think is going to be going here.
That may be the first one I disagree with you on. If Cam Ward's there, I think that's where the Giants would go. But it's your mock draft. Do what you want.
I'm gonna have no quarterbacks in the top 32. They're, I mean, I know teams are going to take them.
Yeah. Got it. Tyler Warren at 3 is crazy, but would be a good fit. I think he would be a good fit. I just don't think he's top 3, and I don't. At that point, if they were, I think they may trade back 4.
Now you have some teams like Jacksonville being rumored to take him a few picks after. So I don't know, man. I know quarterbacks are gonna go, but for me personally, these quarterbacks are trash. So like I'm not gonna sit here and like think a team is gonna take a trash ass quarterback,
But
knowing they will.
teams will take a trash ass
They
quarterback.
will, but for the Giants' sake, like I don't know. Why don't you get someone who we just know is gonna be good and then move on? But yeah, it's wild. That's why mock drafts. I like seeing all the different opinions and like reasoning and stuff. Like some of them kind of stupid, kind of dumb, but it's kind of the fun of mock drafts.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and let you make the number 4 pick. This is the Patriots.
Yeah, kind of all the talents off the board, huh? This is where I think I don't know his name, Titty McMillan, from Arizona. Uh, they got to get receiver help. I think Vrabel alone is gonna just be fine with that defense. Right now, you got to get what you can for Drake May. Drake May looks pretty good. Uh, so yeah, I just best available receiver, whoever that may be for the Patriots. I think the consensus might be that McMillan dude. So that's just kind of who I'll go.
Yeah, no QB has first grade rounds. But again, teams are desperate enough, they're going to take that
They will.
chance. I do like the Ty McMillan pick. I'm going Mason Graham.
My boy.
Yeah, Michigan guy. I think Vrabel being think back to what Mike Vrabel had in Tennessee defensive line. Mason Graham would be a perfect Vrabel guy. I like Mason Graham at number 4. I believe it is the Jacksonville Jaguars at 5.
Yeah, this is where I go back and forth because they need quite a bit. Um, Even in my opinion, they actually should start looking quarterbacks, but that could be just a whole nother conversation. Um, I like Mason Graham a lot, but I think I'm gonna pick a different Michigan boy. I think they go Will Johnson. Uh, you gotta have you gotta have a cornerback. Uh, he's my dude. He's got good. I mean, I could just list all the qualities he has, but just in general, just all around good size, good cornerback. That's who I'd have the Jacks taking.
Yeah, for me, I'm taking Will Campbell. I think, you know, you got your offensive minded coach. You got Trevor Lawrence. He's been banged up. He's been beat up. Um, you got to start finding a way to protect Trevor Lawrence. I think for the skill position guys, I think you're almost there. But I think you start with tackles first and then work your way out. But again, Brian Thomas was a beast last year. ETN's fine. You have those guys there. So what better way to do that than start building your offensive line and then work on some of the defensive stuff that you can. You have holes, right? But I don't think that's the thing. Jaguars aren't that far, right? They just get Trevor Lawrence has got to figure it out, and I think once he finally gets to that level, the Jaguars are going to be just fine. And we said it all last season that they're playing in a division that's winnable, right? You got the Texans, the Titans aren't there yet. Titans probably won't be for a couple more years, a-
Colts aren't. They're down. They're
and then
down bad.
who knows what the fucking Colts are going to do, right? So you got to get it right with Trevor Lawrence. Is Liam Cohen the guy that's going to do it? I don't know if I would have leaned on Liam Cohen as a yeah. I'm not
Duval.
sure I would have leaned on him the first go around, but he's a smart guy. So we'll see, right? So again, I'm going Will Campbell at 5. You're going Will Johnson. at 5. I'm trying to look to see some of these other ones to see where Will Johnson's even. I don't even think he's been in the top 10.
That's wild. Wonder if not fully coming back from that injury or something. Obviously, we don't know the health reports and
Yeah,
like
15.
character issues or anything.
This one has him at 15. So
Bro, I'd trade up from 31 to 15 to get this dude.
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I guess I can read and see what this person on NFL Network says. No, not really. So
Just teams skipping on corner, I guess.
says the coverage man does something at his long-awaited workout to quell the lingering concerns about his long speed, like run 40 and 4.4s. He could fly off the draft board. So apparently, it's the speed part that's not.
That does matter
That
nowadays.
doesn't help him. Are you changing it? Or you keep it 5.
No, I'm gonna keep him at 5.
All right. So let's go to 20 with Denver. Again, like I said earlier, I was catching some heat. There's a couple of comments on the YouTube stuff about me picking Luther Burden. One, I don't give a fuck what you think.
We
Two,
do. We want to hear it.
Luther Burden would be just fucking fine in Denver. All right. Three, I didn't want the fucking running back to begin with. That wasn't me saying Ashton Genty. There's 0% chance Ashton Genty falls to number 20. I can promise you that. If he does, cool. I'm not going to be happy with the pick because I think we have bigger needs right now. So, with that being said, I want Quinshawn Judkins at 20.
So you do want part of the running back
I do want
action.
part of I talked myself into it. Just watching him, kind of watching some film breakdown of him too. He fits what Sean Payton would want in a running back. This is nothing against Luther Burden. I would be just as happy if we went Luther Burden. Matthew Golden, I'd also be happy with Ibuka. But yes, in mock draft 2.0, Corey's changing it from Luther Burden to Quinshawn Judkins at 20.
Yeah, man. That's You might start seeing an influx of round one running backs again. Uh, a couple teams, Barkley, first round running back, 2,000 yards. Everyone made fun of the Lions for doing what they did for Gibbs, and now look, one of the most explosive running backs in the league. So you might see the table start turning a little bit with these running backs. Uh, yeah, I mean Denver does need a running back, but yeah, for sure.
For sure. But
Um,
again, it's so deep, right? It's such a deep class that you don't have to get one of the ones in the first round. And then yeah, we talked about this on your show, Tim, about
yeah,
him.
I hope all the AFC West goes running backs first round.
That's like it's nothing against the running back class. It's just when you have a class that's this deep,
Yeah,
honestly, to be 100% honest with you, I would want Denver to draft Harmon if he's there, the D tackle from Oregon. Denver needs D
see,
line depth.
the pick I was going to put for Denver was Kenneth Grant.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Not that I want Denver to get them, obviously, but uh, for what the points we've said, this running back class is so deep. Get Kenneth Grant, then turn around and draft a damn good running back round two still. Like you could even get a receiver round two and get a damn good running back round three. That's kind of the money spot for running backs anymore. Anyway, so
and I'm a Jayhawk homer. Take Devin Neal in the third round and let's call it a day.
not an option, but I agree. I think nose tackle, D tackle, for Denver would make a lot of sense. You got the edge rushers. Zach Allen's kind of a beast. Well, now get someone else there. Uh, I love Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant. Those dudes are dogs, or Wolverines. But uh, yeah, I think any kind of help on that interior D line, that's where you should go. Just given the draft depth for running backs.
Where the Chiefs going at 31.
Man, I mean, you just don't know how the things are gonna fall. I've seen some recently where they're saying Chiefs are going to trade up a little bit to draft Colston Loveland. If I'm allowed to just like predict a trade up and draft someone, that's what I would hope for. Uh, I don't know. We see how important tight end is for Patrick and Andy. Is it more of a Travis effect than tight end? Maybe it could be, but you got to start looking for life after Kels because it's coming sooner than we think. What I hope happens, just because not only are the running backs deep, this draft is just deep. I would be okay being one of those spots where a team trades into to get one of those quarterbacks. Uh, and this is how we get one off the board, trade back in. But if I have to pick a player, I hope, again, I don't know if he'll be there, but I like Derek Harmon. if Broncos take Derek Harmon, then I hope Kenneth Grant falls to us.
So who's your official one at 31?
Am I allowed to just say trade back, or do I need to
No, we
pick
said no trades in this one.
no trades in this one? Okay, well, it depends how it falls. Kenneth Grant or Derek Harmon, nose tackle, D tackle.
Good. I will put you down for Harmon. No tackle. All right, as we wrap up, my top five was Cam Ward, Bill Carter, Travis Hunter, Mason Graham, Will Campbell round out the top five. Austin's Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, Tyler Warren, Pat McMillan, Will Johnson, and then I had Denver at 20, going Quinshawn Judkins. You had the Chiefs at 31, going Derek Harmon, Oregon. That wraps up Shovik Mock Draft 2.0. Again, we want your feedback. Come find us on Instagram. Come find us on X. We're up to almost 150 followers on Twitter now.
Yeah, and we can post something about, give us your guys' top five
And
predictions.
we'll post our mock draft up there for you guys, so you guys can come find that on Instagram. Give us your thoughts and your feedback. And again, you can even comment who your top five are, and we'll read those on the show Monday or Wednesday next week. At some point, we are going to get into a habit of doing two shows a week, whether that's a Monday, Wednesday, or a Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll kind of figure that out. But we're finally getting to that point where we're able to interact with a lot of people now, where we feel like it's good, it's okay that we add a second show throughout the week. And ideally, when football season starts, Tuesday's kind of a weekend like review, and then our Wednesday show's kind of like looking at Thursday night football and then previewing the week to come. So again, that's kind of how the layout's going to be. So again, come find us on Instagram at Shovik Sports. Come find us on Twitter, X at Shovik Sports. Find us on YouTube. Hit the subscribe. We have a few of our videos that got over 1K, so we need to do better on our reels. We will keep doing better on our reels. So again, thank you all for your comments tonight. Three Guys, Six Balls NFL podcast. See you guys in a couple weeks. Timmy, thanks for joining the show in the chat as well. We will see you guys next week.
Royals